Hello! Now
Hello.
we're doing another video on IELTS writing. If you've checked our previous videos, we've done quite a lot. In fact, we have almost 90
Yeah, almost
videos here
100.
on YouTube. Now, we're thinking, why not discuss the four questions that usually come out, or four types of questions in IELTS writing? Because if you know the type of question, there are structures that we recommend in
Mhm.
order for you to come up with an organized and more systematic response in the actual exam. So without further ado, we begin with number one. So Sir Brian, what's the first type of question in IELTS writing task 2?
Yes, this is the first type and one of the most common. It's agree or disagree. It's a one sided or close ended question. So you're going to be given a topic, and all you need to do is to agree or disagree with it. To write your stand or your position, then explain why you agree or why you disagree.
And sometimes you don't just see, do you agree or disagree, but sometimes they phrase the question in this way: to what extent do you agree
Yes.
or disagree? So, in answering the question, majority or more than half of the candidates simply use agree or disagree. But at 9.09er, we recommend that you come up with something else. So, something simple. Instead of just writing I agree, why don't you write something like I am in favor of,
Mm-hmm.
or I support the idea
Mm-hmm.
of? But what about the other words that you can
Mm.
use? You can use something like adhere, okay,
Okay.
or affirm,
Yeah.
something like these,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that your output is not as common as the essays of the other candidates. What about disagree, Sir Brian? Any alternative words that our viewers can possibly use when they take the test?
Well, you can also paraphrase, or you can use more than one word. For example, I am not in favor of, I do not support the view that, I am not of the opinion that, and many other kinds of combinations. Make your response unique. Try to make sure that you inject a little bit of creativity there when you write your stand, because it's the first thing that your examiners are going to see.
So, if you don't want to use disagree, you can consider words like oppose, reject, negate. You can play around with them. Just
Mhm.
make sure that when you come up with your sentence, it's as clean as a whistle. Now, let's move on to the second type of question: discuss both views. So, Sir Brian, how is this type of question different from the first one, which is agree or disagree?
When you're dealing with discuss both views and give your opinion, there are two points of view or two arguments. And even if you have to probably choose between the two, or you have a very strong opinion, you still need to discuss both of them equally in a balanced fashion. So you need to probably allocate one paragraph for the first view and another paragraph for the second view before writing your opinion towards the end of your essay.
Some people ask us, so sir, will you please give us an idea how to come up with the body for agree, disagree versus discuss both views? For agree or disagree, you are not required to tackle the other side. So
Correct.
if you choose agree, the arguments that you write in the body must support your stand, which is agree.
Agree.
If ever you want to tackle the other side, okay, you can do that. It's just that the reason why you're presenting the other side is to prove that your chosen side is better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for discuss both views, Sir Brian already mentioned this earlier. You cannot just tackle one side. It has to be both of them and equal for that matter. What about the stand? If it's agree or disagree, it's best that you mention your stand in the beginning to give an examiner an idea of what to expect for the remainder of the essay. It's just that for discuss both views, it's best to mention your opinion in the end. This is just a suggestion, and we'd like to reiterate that there is no one correct way in the
Correct.
IELTS. Now, we move on to number three. What's the third type of question in writing task two, Sir Brian?
This one was my actual question when I took the examination. It's open ended. And this type of question does not actually ask you to agree or disagree, does not ask you to discuss both sides, but requires you to answer a couple of questions most of the time, or sometimes even 3 questions, like what happened in my actual examination. I received
Wow,
three. And you have to respond to each one of them in detail.
When you read up on education, technology, environment, government, make sure to look at various angles. What are the advantages? What are the problems, possible solutions? What could be the recommendations? Because typically they are the ones that come out in open-ended type. We're down to the last one, the fourth type of question in writing task 2. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So, Sir Brian, what must be the approach of our candidates?
It is actually partial. So it means to say that you will have your opinion, but you will need to acknowledge the other side. So perhaps if you're writing maybe a couple of paragraphs for your position, you still need to allocate one paragraph for the other view. So you will discuss both, but there will be one of those two different arguments that you're more strongly connected to, or you're probably discussing more than the other. This is actually one of the most difficult types of questions, sir. And
Because
it's
you have
hard-
to talk
yeah.
about the two of them.
Yes. It's
To
hard.
give you an idea, for discuss both views, you might want to allocate one paragraph per view. And then, towards the end, that's when you give your opinion. So you devote an entire paragraph to talk about your opinion. So it could be one paragraph each in the body. However, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? More often than not, you must write 3 paragraphs. But why 3 paragraphs? 2 paragraphs for the side that you have chosen and 1 paragraph for the side that you did not pick. Now, some people are so fixated on the structure, so they ask us, for discuss both views, should I always mention the first view first or should I mention the second view first? Your opinion regarding this matter, Sir Brian?
It really doesn't matter as long as your essay is very organized.
The same argument for do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. You might want to begin with the side that you chose, then you move on to the other side, the one that you did not choose. Or what some people do, they start with the side that they don't like, then they move on to the side that they prefer so that the conclusion supports the last 2 arguments in the body. So let's have a recap. What are the top 4 most common types of questions in IELTS Writing Task 2? Number 1, agree or disagree. Number 2, discuss both views. Number 3, open-ended questions. Lastly, number 4, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Do you like the content of this video? Do you find it helpful? Please don't forget to comment, like, and share to your friends. We'll see you in some of our future videos. Bye!
Bye.